Good evening and welcome to NEWSBREAK Live. I'm Hiba Samad. Thanks for joining us. Part of Van Ness Avenue remains shut down as crews rebuild the road. A 16-inch water main break caused a large sinkhole to grow between Dominguez Street and Arlington Avenue on Van Ness Avenue. Since the incident over the weekend, waterline repairs have been completed, but lanes remain closed until the road will be repaired properly. This Friday, crews plan to fix the roadway and hope it'll be open by Monday. Drivers can take detours by using Western Avenue or Crenshaw Boulevard as alternative routes, and eastbound and westbound motorists should use Delamo or Torrance Boulevards. As the rain continues to come down, the City of Torrance is offering resources to protect your property. Torrance residents can pick up free sandbags at the city yard. Depending on the availability, there are a maximum of 25 sandbags that each resident can get. Make sure to bring an ID, driver's license, or a Torrance utility bill. During after-hours storm emergencies, residents may call the Torrance Fire Department for information on sandbags. The National Weather Service is expecting heavy rain throughout tonight. Officials say possible impacts of the downpour will be mud and debris flows near any burn areas. Roadways may flood rapidly and road closures. For more information, you can call the City Yard at 310-781-6900. If you have loved ones serving or who have served in the armed forces, you can honor them in a very special way. The City of Torrance annual military recognition program honors men and women in uniform through street banners. They are designed, printed, and then installed, coinciding with the annual Armed Forces Day Parade. You can apply now through February 1st. To be considered, honorees must be military personnel who are currently serving in the United States Armed Forces, veterans who have served, or veterans who have passed away. Military personnel must be a Torrance resident or an immediate family member to a Torrance resident. Residency requirements can be waived if they have attended high school in the city. Banners will go up during May and April. Each banner costs $250. The program was created in 2012. To apply, go to torranceca.gov. The City of Torrance is expanding its partnership with Los Angeles County to combat homelessness, using county resources to provide homeless services and outreach to individuals through the lahop.org portal. If anyone encounters or sees an individual experiencing homelessness in the city, you can make a referral through the site. Once you get to the portal, press Get Started. Then you can make an outreach request where you can alert specific concerns that you may have regarding the person's well-being. The goal is to help the person in their situation, and a homeless services outreach team will attend to the area. The Los Angeles Homeless Outreach Portal can be found at la-hop.org. The largest get-together for Macross fans is returning to Torrance. Officials announced the Super Dimension Convention will be back at the Torrance Cultural Arts Center in 2019. It's a day filled with anime, idols, mecha, cosplay, and collectibles for fans. You can register early now for the fun. The convention is in its second decade. Macross is a Japanese science fiction mecha anime media franchise that was created in 1982. It'll take place on October 5th. For registration, head to superdimensioncon.com. A Russian-based pizza company is bringing its delicious flavors to the City of Torrance, but there are only two ways to get it. Owner and CEO of Dodo Pizza, Elena Tikhova, is expanding her brand, which first opened in Oxford, Mississippi. The eatery only delivers or allows customers to pick up the top-of-the-line pizza. The owner says they grow their own microgreens, use organic ingredients, and eco-friendly packaging while keeping prices very moderate, and even have their own in-house delivery service. Now the brand will be opening its first location on the West Coast in Torrance, making its fourth in the nation. Tikhova says moving the brand to California will make it closer to the IT industry, which is important since the brand built its own IT systems, and the original store location has a 24/7 camera that allows customers to see the food being made. Dodo Pizza in Torrance will offer thin crust and new salad options along with vegetarian choices. They hope to open in February. It'll be located at where Pizoon used to be at 24422 Hawthorne Boulevard. And speaking of food, the wait is almost over as a new restaurant on the boulevard is soon to open. EMC Seafood and Raw Bar Torrance announced an opening date of January 29th. The company is fairly new and has grown quickly over the years. Its raw bar consists of oysters, live uni, and a seafood tower. The original location for EMC is in Koreatown, so make sure you check it out. EMC is located in between Nordstrom and Macy's. A popular cafe on wheels is making a stop in Torrance once again. This Saturday, get to the Del Amo Fashion Center early as the Hello Kitty Cafe will return from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Fans will be able to purchase exclusive new goodies from a giant Hello Kitty chef cookie lunchbox with confetti popcorn, macaroon set, and much more while supplies last. The original Hello Kitty Cafe truck launched at Hello Kitty Con 2014. Today, two cafe trucks travel across the United States. The cafe will be located at the courtyard near the AMC theaters. Now let's get to the weather. The rain has started again, and there was a high of 59 today with an expected low of 54 tonight. Then tomorrow you can expect a high of 61 with a low of 58. Then the rain, as I mentioned, will continue through Thursday with a high of 62 and a low of 53. The American Red Cross is asking people to roll up their sleeves and give back. January is National Blood Donor Month, and the American Red Cross has issued an emergency call for blood and platelet donors to give now and help with the blood shortage. During the holiday, the Red Cross collected about 27,000 fewer blood and platelet donations. The Red Cross is in urgent need of Type O. Officials say this month is to celebrate generous volunteer donors and to also raise awareness about the need for blood donations. There have been reports that due to the increase of flu cases, blood supply is affected. Torrance hospitals, as of now, are not facing any shortages. To find out about blood drives near you, you can check out redcrossblood.org. Mailing out a letter will cost you more starting next month. The United States Postal Service plans to increase prices on forever stamps, flat rate boxes, and envelopes starting January 27th. A stamp book will cost $11. Postage will increase from 50 cents to 55 cents. Officials say due to continuing losses in revenue, they're moving forward with the price hikes. The agency says it's lost nearly $4 billion in 2018 alone. If you want to meet with your local officers firsthand, you can stop by Coffee with a Cop tomorrow at the Starbucks inside the Del Amo Fashion Center. It starts at 1 p.m. Then another event to mark on your calendar. Also tomorrow, the city is updating its strategic plan and is asking for feedback from the community. It's a proactive statement of where the community wants to be in the future, how the city will get there, and who will be responsible for it. Bring your ideas about what you like about Torrance and how it can be better. It'll start at 7 p.m. at the Bartlett Senior Center. And if you haven't pledged community service hours for the Torrance Serves campaign, you still have time. There are 3 events this Saturday which the city is hosting for the campaign, but only 2 locations are open for registration. For more information, head to torranceca.gov, and the campaign continues throughout the month. Well, in just 2 minutes, Steve Lays, the chair of the Social Services Commission for the City of Torrance, will join me to talk about how you can participate in helping combat homelessness in the community. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back to the second half of NewsBreak Live. Joining me is Steve Lays, who is the chair of the City's Social Services Commission. Welcome.
Hello, Heba. Thanks for having me on today.
Thank you for being on NewsBreak Live. And tonight we're talking about a very important event that is happening again in the City of Torrance, the Greater Los Angeles Homeless Count. And the City of Torrance, for the second year in a row, will be hosting as a deployment site. So why did the city decide to move forward with this once again?
So the city is keenly aware of the continued homeless crisis that's affecting a large portion of Southern California, especially, and for that reason, the Social Services Commission took a measure to the city, and they approved to host the deployment center for this year and for the next 2 years as well.
This is a big mission for the Social Services Commission, which you're part of, which is made up of volunteers, people from the City of Torrance. So before we move on and talk to people about how they can participate in this wonderful event, talk to me about the Social Services Commission. When did it come about and its purpose?
Right. So the Social Services Commission came about in 2015 and first met in 2016. We serve 4 populations: veterans, homeless, children with special needs, and adults with developmental disabilities. And basically our role, we're not a services provider, is to connect people to those services, to help educate as well. We have a number of service providers that are listed online on the Torrance website if you go under Social Services Commission, for instance. And we also host a couple of events every year as well. Right now, a couple of months ago, we had a Veterans Day event that we hosted. It was a lunch, and it was also a booth fair, basically, for people to come and check out different services. And for the homeless, in a couple of months here, we will also be doing a toiletry drive, and we're looking to a number of other opportunities right now.
One of them is obviously the homeless count, which is happening next Wednesday right here in Torrance. So how many years has the City of Torrance participated, and why is this such an important event?
Right. So the City of Torrance has participated for a number of years. Like you had mentioned before, this is the second year that we're hosting a deployment center. It's important to get a count, so LA County Homeless Services Agency knows how to direct resources. If they don't know where the homeless are or what state they're in, whether or not it's a shelter, a vehicle, or just on the street, they don't know exactly what they're dealing with and where to direct resources.
And that's how the count works, right? It's very detailed, data collection of homelessness in the city, and volunteers actually are on foot, some drive, but they're physically keeping an eye out and collecting that data, right? So tell viewers if they don't know what the count is and how it works.
Right. So the night of the count, which is January 23rd, you meet at 8 p.m. at the rec center, at the Ken Miller Rec Center, and from there the Torrance City staff and the Torrance City Police are there to provide some basic overview as to what to do and how to count. Basically, you get a sheet. It tells you what area you're supposed to go out and count. They're divided by voter precincts, usually. And most of the counting's done from a car. You're not actually approaching any sort of vehicle or any sort of homeless encampment. The goal is just literally just to count from far away so people can get a picture of what the status is as of today, because homelessness isn't static and people aren't static, so they need to know where the homeless are.
Homelessness is something that cities across the nation are affected by. So tell me a little bit about being out there that day. You've participated before. What is it like so we can get more people registered for this event?
Right. So the count itself, what we do on the count itself is there is usually a driver, a navigator that has the map of the precinct with all the streets that you're going to drive down, and then there are usually 1 or 2 counters in the car as well. So literally most of it is just driving up and down the streets, looking to your left and right, and counting various vehicles and counting homeless shelters and counting homeless individuals. You do receive training before you go out, like I said before, so it's It usually takes about an hour or two. It's not an all-night event, so we're encouraging people to come out. We need about 100 volunteers. Last time I looked at the website, there are 50. All you have to do to register is to go on the website, theycountwillyou.org, and register. It's really simple.
Whether you live in Torrance or you live in a neighboring city, you can still participate, right?
That's correct, yes. It's not limited just to Torrance. This is all of LA County. We had about 8,000 volunteers last year countywide. There were about 100 here last year in the city of Torrance. And yeah, go on and you can volunteer in any number of places.
It's also a really big event where you see various community partners come together. Torrance Police Department will be out there. Family Promise of the South Bay will be out there. And they all work as a team to make sure this count is accomplished by the end of the night. So tell me about that involvement and who is participating besides those organizations.
Right. The South Bay Coalition to End Homelessness is there. There's various faith communities and individuals that show up. And there's elected officials that show up. Most of, or all of the Social Services Commission will be there as well. And our goal is to get this done in a quick, efficient manner and get our data out to the LA County so they can direct the resources where they need to go.
So talk to me about these resources and kind of what the Social Services Commission is hoping for at the end of this count, and what resources are maybe something that you guys are guessing you'll need.
Right. So the LA County Homeless Services Agency is really the agency that directs the resources. Mm-hmm. They apportion those resources based off of partially the homeless count, mm-hmm. and after they compile the data, they figure out where to direct resources. So I know they're looking at a number of projects right now, everything from job training to,
right.
to shelter to different things like that. But it's the amount of funding that's been put out to the county and their mandate is really something that they're working on right now.
And for viewers who are maybe tuning in right now, we're talking about the greater Los Angeles homeless count. Volunteers are still needed here in the city of Torrance. So talk to me a little bit more in depth about how this reduces and is just one step closer to ending homelessness.
Right. So you can't obviously address homelessness unless you know where people that are experiencing mm-hmm. homeless are right now. So the goal of this and every year is to basically find where people are so you know where and how to direct resources. The count is necessary because, like I said, homelessness isn't static. People fall into and out of home, and get out of homelessness, and people aren't static. I mean, we mm-hmm. have a wide, variety of commuting options and public transit options here in Southern California. So literally, this is a good method for people for the LA County to figure out where people are.
Why has combating homelessness become such an important mission for the city, for the Social Services Commission?
Well, countywide and in this, it is very much a crisis. We're looking at addressing that, helping to address that crisis with mm-hmm. this count, mm-hmm. and it's a quality of life issue for the homeless, and I feel that we have an obligation to help them out of that.
The commission does serve as a liaison with the community. So if people have questions, concerns about any of the 4 populations that you do serve, what do you encourage people to do?
Yes, they can reach out to the city manager's office and ask for the Social Services Commission, and a city staff member will be put in touch with them. But again, if you want to sign up for the count that's coming on January 23rd, go to theycountwillyou.org.
Right, and then the direct link to the City of Torrance count registration is theycountwillyou.org/Torrance_count. You have to be 18 years old. However, if you are younger, you can volunteer in the activities before you guys are deployed out. So tell us about this event as a whole. Any last words for people who are watching at home and who are maybe considering it? And of course, if you want to pledge for these hours, this can go towards Torrance Serves, and you can be part of a bigger campaign as well.
Right, I'm just encouraging everyone to show up. It's a quick event. You show up at 8. I think last year we were done by about, most of us were done about by 10-ish, and you get all the training you need there on site. It's really fast and it's simple to do. There's well-trained individuals on site, and if you have questions, I would encourage you to call the city manager's office.
And we have the number on the screen, 310-618-5880. Well, Steve, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to reiterate this again. Community members interested in learning more about the count, or if you'd like to register, go to volunteers can visit, theycountwillou.org/Torrance_count. You can also, as I just mentioned, call the city manager's office at 310-618-5880. Well, that does it for NewsBreak Live. If you ever have news or video that you'd like to share, please email us at newsbreak@torranceca.gov. Also, if you missed any part of the show, you can catch it on Torrance City Cable's YouTube page. Have a great night.